Welcome back to another daily market update where we discuss all your favorite major dollar pairs and of course gold. My name is Fabio and thank you for tuning in. Now, a lot has been going on yesterday in the world, guys, and you need to be informed to understand what the market is doing. So first of all, I'm going to run you through a series of timelines that explains the situation that we're currently seeing within the markets. Because one, Ukraine agreed to an immediate 30-day ceasefire with Russia after talks with the United States. This caused EU to push up higher. Second of all, Trump announced that he's going to impose an additional 25% tariff all the way up to 50% on steel, aluminum coming into the United States from Canada. But Canada said, hey guys, you're not going to bully us. What we are going to start doing is announcing that we're going to start selling United States bonds, which would increase the global dollar supply and which would be terrible for the debt refinancing of that $6 trillion in debt, which I talked about earlier this week. Okay, so it's very important to understand what has been going on here. So then what Trump said in response to that is that Canada will pay a financial price so big that will be read about in history books, whereas he then very shortly after said, okay, cutting tariffs, I'm going to be looking at it. And then an advisor to Trump even said no 50% steel and aluminum tariffs on Canada tomorrow. So a lot, guys, a lot going on in the United States, which is causing the charts to move all over the place. Now, what I need you to understand as well is that today we have CPI, guys. We have inflation numbers in the United States coming out, which is going to heavily influence the US dollar. So let's see from a technical perspective what we are currently dealing and looking at. So what we can see here on the daily time frame is, first of all, that daily area of supply has now been broken. This was the overall supply zone that we were looking for a short opportunity from, with the internal liquidity positioned right below it. Now, overall, guys, it doesn't really matter when a supply zone gets spiked through. It could still sell off in towards the downside. But again, you need a lot of lower time frame confirmation to confirm that we're actually going to be looking for that sell-off. Because, guys, on the weekly time frame, what we see here is that we are still inside of the overall weekly area of supply, right? This overall weekly buy before the sell. Yes, we kind of tapped above that high, but it doesn't mean that the market could still sell off. So today, CPI is going to decide where the market is heading next, most likely. Looking here at the daily time frame for now, we have this daily imbalance candle over here, which is in control. This is also your daily fractal low. If that daily fractal low were to break, then I would be looking at some more short-term downside before then potentially looking at further upside again or not. But obviously, we're still looking for a potential correction after this overextended leg in towards the highs. But guys, the overall lower time frame is still very bullish. Looking here at the 4-hour, yes, we have that overextended push in towards the highs. Yes, we have the ascending correction, which is often a sign that the market is going to start selling off. But guys, but the overall demand is still in control. Here we have a demand zone, and once again here as well, we have a demand range. So areas of consolidation, those are always our demand ranges, and then we refine them, or we tend to refine them to, for example, the most recent imbalance candles like this. But myself, I just prefer to take the entire range, and I just wait on the lower time frame to see how the market reacts when or as soon as it gets into that area of consolidation. Okay, so for now, shorts would only be on the table if we start to break this area of consolidation, and then we could start looking at lowered shorts. Yes, we did spike through, so longs, okay, they make sense, but overall, guys, come on, like an overextended move, ascending corrective price action. Yes, we could just fly in towards the highs today with CPI, but for myself, that is gambling. I am personally more interested in shorts only and not really in longs at these levels. I would really need to see a bit of a deeper retracement before looking at any potential longs. Especially what I would need to see for longs is for us at least to take out this internal low over here. So if we take out that internal low and then we retrace a little bit deeper into the refined demand zones, then I'll go onto the 1-hour time frame and I'll look for long positions. From this level, I'm not looking for shorts, because for shorts we need to break the area of demand. I'm not looking for longs, because for longs we need to grab that internal liquidity. Okay, so that's what I'm waiting for at the moment here on EURUSD. You can as well see here on the 1-hour time frame that we have this imbalance candle as well, with that liquidity low right above it. In the meantime, the back blinds are going down, so it's getting a little bit dark here, but I'll just continue. So that is EURUSD overall, looking for further upside. If we do retrace into here and then we see the order flow shift again, then we can look at longs. Otherwise, I'll be looking for shorts as soon as the overall 4-hour demand zone starts to break. As simple as that. Now, going into the dollar index, the dollar index is still with supply in control, guys. Not a lot has changed since yesterday. Remember, what we saw and what we spoke about yesterday is that we had indeed this overall liquidity low over here. But what we can now see here is that this imbalance over here on the daily time frame is currently in control. Okay, so this is your daily area of supply, and I've seen it many times before. We see the overextended move, everybody is looking for that pullback, and then it just continues pushing down lower and lower, and then you miss out on the entire move. So don't get caught up in the idea that there has to be a pullback. Okay, just follow the overall order flow, and for now this area of supply is currently in control. This is your daily fractal high. If we break that daily fractal high, then a potential pullback could come into play. Otherwise, just follow the overall daily supply chain. Okay, looking here at the 4-hour time frame as well, we can as well see here that supply was in control over here. These two imbalance candles acting as supply, and now we have this imbalance candle over here now acting as supply as well and pushing the market down lower. So we have this little 4-hour trend here which is still holding, and I'll only be looking for longs on the dollar once we start breaking above the highs here, because then there is a lot of room still to push up higher, but that's the only dollar long that I see. So yes, dollar longs are becoming increasingly interesting, but guys, but we need to wait for that overall fractal structure shift here on the daily. So break this daily fractal high, and then I would be interested in a long, because otherwise it could just continue to sell off from that daily imbalance candle. Okay, hope you guys understand that as well. Let's zoom out just real quick for 1 second. Overall, I am still looking for further downside from the dollar index. Either we just push down lower, or if we retrace, I'll also still be looking for further shorts. Again, very comparable price action back into 2016, into 2018. Make sure to check that out. Range, fake out, downtrend. Here again, range, fake out, and now looking for that downtrend. Okay, so as simple as that. Now going into AUDUSD, AUDUSD has been moving slow yesterday. We're going to zoom in here on the 4-hour time frame. We can see that we've pretty much just been consolidating in the anticipation of CPI. Okay, so the market is waiting for that CPI, for those inflation numbers to come out before it's going to really move. Starting here on the daily, nothing really has changed as of yet. Yes, we're reacting to this daily area of supply, and yes, it pushed the market down lower temporarily. Preferably, I would still want to see a push up higher. I'll be looking at the 4-hour time frame, guys. I'm not looking at shorts. Yes, I understand that for now the supply is in control. So we have a supply zone over here. Again, we have a supply zone over here. Buy before the sell down, right? We tap back in into that refined, and then we push back down lower again. For now, what I'm personally just looking at is, okay, if the 4-hour breaks these lows, then I'll have some more conviction that we're heading down lower. But for now, for me, we're just taking out this internal low over here, and I'm looking for that order flow shift to occur, okay? And the reason that I'm doing that is because I'm still focused heavily on the weekly time frame. So on the weekly, what we have over here is that internal low, and the blinds are going up again. We have the internal low, and then what we have here. So if we zoom in onto the weekly, we have the weekly demand that is currently in control, okay? So the weekly fractal structure, guys, is very simply said, break of the fractal here. This is the fractal low, this is the fractal high, 618 fib retracement, and now just looking for upside continuation, okay, from AUDUSD. Obviously, if you zoom out as well, we're at a key level as well of support. Going into the daily now, the daily for myself is more of just a fake move down again. Yes, the daily fractal is bearish from this high to where? Oh no, sorry, excuse me, the daily fractal is actually bullish because we see a low break over here, and at the moment daily fractal structure is bullish from this low in towards this high. We're reacting to this supply zone. We were traced in towards these wicks over here, so that's why I'm still convinced or of the belief that that further upside in line with the weekly still makes sense. Now all I need is the 4-hour time frame to align as well. There was a 4-hour fractal structure shift here with the low break over here. This then becomes your fractal high. Now this here is the fractal low, this is now the fractal high. We make the 0.5 fib retracement, and I'm now looking for that further upside. Personally, I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to wait for the overall order flow to shift. So this overall buy before the sell down, that needs to break, and then I'll get into a long position, okay? So that's what I'm looking for on AUDUSD. Going into GBPUSD, GBPUSD is still pretty bullish. Looking here at the weekly again, let's just zoom out. We're inside weekly supply. Go into the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we are still just breaking the highs each and every day. Personally, I'm not really in GU at the moment. Like we break the high, break the high, break the high, and now we have this daily high. Let's see if we can break that once again as well. Yes, we are inside daily supply, so yeah, it makes sense to look for sells. But looking here at the 4-hour time frame, I mean, everybody can see here that GU is currently consolidating inside a range. Yes, it does make sense because for now the trend is still bullish. It took out the internal low here. Let's see, it could even retrace as deep as here and still push up higher. Only once we start breaking these lows, then I'll be looking for a correction. Until then, up is the only way for myself on GU. Looking at NZDUSD, NZDUSD, very similar to AUDUSD, still looking for the upside. Weekly demand is still in control, right? So this weekly sell before the buy up, that is in control, made a 618 fib retracement, pushed up again. Looking at the daily time frame, on the daily it's a little bit different because it is still fractal bearish, so market structure wise it is still bearish. We are inside supply, but I'm still looking to see that further push up in line with the overall weekly narrative that I'm trying to play. For now, we're seeing a very slow and descending correction. We're waiting for the news to come out, but in my opinion, we're going to see some further upside soon, especially if we break the overall order flow. So looking for these highs to get broken, and then I'll try and get in on a long into weekly supply, which we have over here on the weekly buy before the sell down. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. If you want to take those lower time frame setups, then obviously try and trade in line with the 1 hour. What's happened now here is that we took internal liquidity. Here again, we took internal liquidity. So now we need to see some order flow be created. But again, today's CPI news, so I'm not expecting a lot of volume, but I'm still in those longs up higher. So let's see it push. But yeah, the highest conviction play, very similar to AUDUSD, will come once the order flow breaks, right? Once the blue line breaks. So now, last of all, we have gold. Gold is still in a range, guys. It faked out on the range low yesterday. We can see here that it took all of the lows again. For now, I mean, again, it made like a 4-hour fractal structure shift. Preferably, I'm still looking for further upside. It will be dependent on what inflation numbers come out at today. But I mean, again, I think it's so clear, like you cannot trade this. This is impossible to trade unless you trade like the 5-minute time frame and then you use the range trading tool. Obviously, you can make money. Let's say we take the range low and we take the range high over here, and then we draw in the range trading tool and you take the 25 and the 75% mark. It could be as simple as just selling from the 75% and buying from the 25% level, okay? But that's what you should stick to at the moment, because obviously trading the 1 hour, you're just going to be sitting and waiting in a setup. But let's see. I would still like to see a further push up in line with the overall, inflation numbers coming out. But it's more of a gamble than a real technical play, because we're just stuck inside this range between 2900 into 2930 or so. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Still looking for those EURUSD pullbacks, but we need to see a little bit of market structure shift happen still. Thanks, and see you in the next one.